Welcome in, quick hitters. NFL Week 7. Last night, doubleheader. Never looked good from the beginning. To look at this score at 19-27, won by the Seahawks, I can't tell you how many opportunities. This is what you call 1,000 ways to die. Seahawks really tried to give it to them. As poorly as the Texans played, the Seahawks tried to hand them the game and say, come take it. I know we dominated you, but we still going to give you an opportunity to win this game. Texans continued to shoot themselves in the foot all game long. Offense couldn't get anything going. All this was straight drop back throws. Nothing special. Nothing dynamic. Just drop back and see how many times that you can get the ball to Nico Collins, which was mostly 3 to 5 yard routes at best with this smothering defense. Until he went out, you realize that you had another wide receiver in Jalen Noel, a rookie, that you can actually get the ball to down the field or in space. It took Nico Collins to get a concussion for you to realize that we can incorporate him into the offense and get him the ball. They woke up way too late. If they started a game with their hair on fire, playing with a sense of urgency, you might have slipped by in this game as poorly as you played. This is coming off a bye. Coming into a game where you're not sharp, you're not ready, you're not disciplined. You're losing focus, getting penalties, personal foul penalties that don't make no sense in this ball game. The one at the end, just bonehead. That was the cherry on top. Finally get a stop. Well, that happened twice actually in the ball game. Finally get a stop. One was on the sideline when Shire, hit the quarterback and kind of what they would say power drive him into the ground on the sideline. Then you got one jumping the pile at the end when you needed that stop. Yeah, it would have been a few seconds left. No telling what could have happened in the end. You would have scored or not. But you ended the game off a bonehead play. Coming off a bye week, the offense was so vanilla that I could have used 2 scoops of it with my chocolate fudge brownie. Nothing to confuse the defense at all. They just pierced their ears back and ran straight forward. And history has shown that C.J. Stroud cannot get rid of the football quick enough. He really reminds me of Jalen Hurts. They can be dangerous from the pocket, but with a blitzing defense, most times, they get patty feet, they get gun shy, and next thing you know, they're accepting a sack. It was a disappointing performance by the Texans, but like I said a few weeks ago, this team has shown you who they are. And winning a championship or a Super Bowl this season is completely out of the plans. There's no way in hell that this team is going to the Super Bowl. It's a possibility they won't even be getting into the playoffs if this continues. It's sad. It was disappointing to watch last night. Then you get down there on a goal line in a pressure-packed situation, and I'm pretty sure this is when everybody reached for their heart medication. 4 tries and couldn't get into the end zone. And like me and a lot of other people, you're sitting there looking at this situation and you're saying, why are we not quarterback sneaking this? Why? You haven't shown to run the football all game. You lost yardage more than you gained in this ball game running. But you're going to tell me you're going to get on the goal line and you're going to punch it in when this offensive line has been dominated since kickoff. This is what you call running your head into a tree. The Houston Texans ran their heads into a tree. Nick Caley, I don't believe you're gonna be there next season if the Houston Texans organization has any brains left in their heads. Just alone, when you have an offensive coordinator, early on they've shown they weren't gonna allow you to run the football. They stuffed you every single time. And most of the time it was for 1 yard loss, 2 yard loss. All game you've been dominated at the line of scrimmage. What make you think you get down there in the red zone, in scoring position, that you're going to run the ball consecutive times into the end zone? And then you resorted to passing the ball once you realize, oh, I guess it is true we can't run. Not once did you think about the quarterback sneak that maybe one time, but two at the most, you'd have had you a touchdown. You have a fullback running back, just like everybody else in the league, pushing C.J. Stroud from the back, leading him into the end zone. How hard is that? The one they went down there and scored a touchdown, all the time they milked off the clock before they scored. They wasted damn near a minute, 40 seconds, right before 2-minute warning. 40 seconds. Knowing you had to score quick to save, or at least to give you another timeout with the 2-minute warning. But they lollygagged. It's like the closer they get to the end zone, the more nervous they get. They don't know what to call. This offense is a laughing stock. It's a laughing stock of the league. Then you finally get to the kickoff. Need to kick the ball completely out of bounds to stop the clock from ticking. So you can have that 2-minute warning as a timeout. And what the kicker does, kick it right down there, right by the boundary stripe, let the man return the ball. Under 2 minutes. 2-minute warning. You got one timeout left. This team, like I noted, found a way. 1,000 Ways to Die. And that's the name of this book, 1,000 Ways to Die. C.J. Stroud made some he made some key pressure pack throws, but it doesn't counteract the bad decisions he was making for some bad balls he threw between running and passing, where he should have just kept it on the ground, completed a scramble. I mean, you're already halfway to the first down yard stripe. Then you decide to pass it out and then miss your target. That's happened twice. But this offensive line is atrocious. There's no doubt about it. He didn't have no time last night. It was very little. And that's when you're supposed to have Nick Caley supposed to scheme up things a lot quicker to get the ball out of C.J. Stroud's hand. All right? Other teams can do it. Every team in this league don't have good offensive lines. They find a way to get it done. You just have to play a different way. And that way Nick Caley hasn't found out yet. He hasn't found it out. You got to have some relief valves out there on that field. Jalen Noel is one of them. In space. Get the ball out quick. You got a few players like that. Along with your running back. Right? Can come out of the backfield with it. Which he's shown throughout this game. That he can take it a little bit the distance when you give it to him in space. The defense kept this team in the game all night long, giving the Houston Texans offense multiple opportunities. Multiple opportunities to cook something up. Just anything to move the chains, to put points on the board. They was unable to do it. It's sad. And at the same time, you have to give the Seattle defense a whole lot of credit. They were all over the place. They whipped, completely whipped Texans offensive line. They had no answers for them. Right on a point of contact. Just flatlined them. You can't win football games in this league with an offensive line like the Texans have. The worst in the league. Worst in the league. And when they put their pictures up, when you're looking at this offensive line, they look like a bunch of cake butts. They do. They don't look mean, vicious at all. Look like a bunch of nice guys on the offensive line. You got to get nasty. You got to get real nasty playing football when you're in the trenches. Texans don't have it. Once again, this is disappointing. Very disappointing. And why is it disappointing? I don't know why it's disappointing. Because I already knew what it was in week, 3? They've shown us. Yeah, they can patch some things up along, to finish the year out. But when you had hopes of going to a Super Bowl, that's what makes this disappointing this season. Another wasted season. Texans are not going to turn this around to where you look at this team and say, all right, we figured it out. We got it. We're rolling now. Let's go. Let's go. We finally got it. You're not going to get to that point this season. Sorry to tell you. This team have to do a complete flip-flop. A complete flip-flop. What you think that's going to happen when Joe Mixon comes back? Joe Mixon ain't going to fix this problem. Not at all. The only thing they got going good for them on offense is DeMeco Collins. And every team in the league knows that. You wear it out too much. You can't even sneak him the ball. It's gotten that bad. But incorporating a Jalen Noel, getting the ball more to Jaden Higgins. C.J. Stroud missed Jaden Higgins on a good streaking route. He catches the ball as a touchdown. CJ had a lot of those this year. Passes that if he completes, it goes for a touchdown that he just missed. And it happens. I understand. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. But when you're playing mediocre and you're on and off so much, you have to hit those plays. You have to hit them. So the Houston Texans, they fall to the Seattle Seahawks in a disappointing fashion, 19-27. And look, it was a lot larger than that. I know this score says 19-27, but it seems like it was a hell of a lot deeper hole than that. Hell of a lot deeper hole. C.J. Stroud was 23 for 49, 229 yards, 4.7 on average. He had a touchdown, and he had that interception. I'm surprised he only been sacked 3 times, but he's been pressured a whole lot. A whole lot. He's been knocked down the whole game. If he was throwing the ball, he was getting hit. See if I can pull it up. He was getting hit. 59 on his rating. Nick Chubb, no existence. Woody Marks, no existence. These guys couldn't even get 20 yards by themselves in a running game. Defense was smothering. For the passing game, you had Dalton Schultz. He was a consistent target. He kept going to him. 9 catches for 98 yards. They'll give that up all day long, though, if you're Seattle's defense. They know Dalton Schultz is not going to win the ball game. They know that. They say we're willing to give him 20 catches. As long as Nico ain't getting those catches. As long as none of these speedsters are getting these catches. But I've talked about it all year long. You have to incorporate these young guys. And it seems like they only think about them when DeMeco Collins is hurt. If the Houston Texans start this game with a sense of urgency and they kind of play a little bit like they did in the end. And there's another thing, Nick Caley. I will go into every game up-tempo. They need to go into every game up-tempo. Like you're in a 2-minute offense. I think that will fare well. They should be conditioned enough. Quit winding the clock down. Let's just get up and go. There's no need to really huddle. I think that will get y'all in more of a rhythm. It will give y'all more sense of urgency. You can catch the defense off guard, stop some substitutions, especially like a defense like Seattle's. Catching them off guard, being shifty with them, it will help this offense. Nick Caley needs to think about it. See, I don't look, I'm calling this stuff from my couch. Okay? I'm calling this stuff from my couch. I can't scheme up a hell of a defense for you. I can't design this magnificent offensive plays for you. All right? I'm not sitting here trying to do Nick Caley's job or DeMeco Ryan's job. But a lot of this stuff is common sense. And if I can call it from the couch, it seems like they should be able to call it from the field. They got binoculars. They got a bird eye view. They're on the sidelines with these headsets on, getting information. They got these tablets. And you mean to tell me when your offense is dead in the water, stagnant, can't get no movement, you didn't think on any of those possessions until the game is already lost, get an up-tempo and hurry-up offense? And once you did that, things started to work a little bit for you? You found Jalen Noel on some plays? Dalton Schultz continued to catch for you? Running back out of the backfield here and there? I just don't understand it. I don't. And they need to go up tempo. I ain't just talking about next game. I'm talking about for the rest of the damn season. Up tempo. The whole entire game until you at least got a cushion. Big enough lead where you can say, okay, we can slow down a little bit and run our regular offense. But to start every game, you need to be up tempo. It's amazing. It's amazing what professional coaches can't figure out or incorporate when they have it on their roster. It's sad. Real sad. Sam Darnold, 17 for 31. Sam Darnold, he played terrible as well. He's had better games. If he play anything like he's been playing the season already, this game would have been out of stretch completely. But, we're going to give the Texans defense some credit, all right? They're the reason why, he possibly played this way. Texans defense is no chopped liver. We know that. So let's give them credit. That Cooper Kupp interception, that wide receiver pass, if you want to call it that, reverse pass, that was right on time for the Houston Texans. I believe at that time they'd have went up 3 scores. Texas had to come away with something, and they got an interception in a crucial situation. They had to have it. That was big. Kept the game alive for the Texans. Wasn't pretty much able to do anything with it, but it forced them to not score on a possession. Kenneth Walker III, 17 carries for 66 yards. Zach Cabernet, 12 carries for 49 yards, 4.1 on average, 2 touchdowns. But JSN, what about this season? Hasn't there been some outstanding wide receiver play throughout the league this season? Just remarkable play by the wideouts this season. And JSN, I'm going to be honest with you, this was my first time watching a full game for the Seahawks and really seeing what this wide receiver has. And I'm going to tell you, man, oh boy, I'm going to tell you. Just when you look at Jamar Chase the other night, and then you see Justin Jefferson, and then you see this kid right here. You think you have it all figured out who's the best wide receiver in the game until another one get put on display. And I'm going to tell you, JSN is as good as it gets. As good as it gets. He ain't 6'4". He ain't got these long, rangy arms and big hands. Or can leap out of the building. Well, maybe he can leap out of the building. He did a damn good job slam dunking the goalpost. But you want to talk about elite route runner? matched with speed and quickness, elusiveness at its best, with a little bit of ounce of cockiness too. Headstrong, and he want to give you that business, and he will give you that business. He gave it to the Houston Texans' finest at cornerback. Lassiter got a dose of his medicine. Stingley got 2 shots of it as well. He was giving them a high, heavy dose, putting them to sleep on plays that was obviously going to JSN, and you still couldn't stop it. This guy has quick twitch movement, hard to cover at the line of scrimmage. Very, very dynamic coming off that line of scrimmage. And him and Sam Darnold, they was right on cue. They had it dialed up multiple ways to beat this defense. I'm a witness. JSN, I'm a witness. All right? I'm a witness. 8 catches for 123 yards. That don't even give him justice. It don't. It don't. 15.4 on average. He had 1 touchdown, right? 26 was long, 14 targets. They went to him. And what I've noticed since Jamar Chase got those 23 targets, everybody else been saying, you know what? We got a guy that's pretty good too. We might need to get him the ball close to 23 targets, if not 23 targets. So you're seeing these targets on elite wide receivers go up since Jamar Chase game. I've noticed that. They trying to force feed their guys now. And it's a good thing. It's good. It's a good watch. It's a good watch if you're a football fan. But JSN tore the Texans secondary up single-handedly. Single-handedly. One-man performance. Go ahead and close the curtain. The show is over. So that does it. That does it. 1,000 ways to die. 1,000 ways to die. It doesn't get any easier for the Texans. It don't get easier. Don't get easier. I don't care who you're playing. All right, you can be the worst team in the league. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because at this point, you're beating yourself. Ain't about what the opponent doing. You're beating yourself. Till you get that fixed first, then you can worry about who's on a schedule and who is a guaranteed win and if the game's on prime time or it's not. But prime time record is daunting. It's daunting to think about. So your favorite team, the Houston Texans, fall to the Seattle Seahawks on the road on prime time. We always talk about it. Prime time. As Chris Berman always say, prime time. 19-27. And like I said, it doesn't give this game any justice because the Houston Texans really got blown out of the water by this defense. They got smothered. They got suffocated. All right? They let one receiver shred their defense when they had their main guys on him. Main guys. Shows how great he is. Shows how great he is. Well, let's get into the second game of Monday night. Let's see if I can throw that up real quick. Lions and Buccaneers. Buccaneers lost with a single-digit score to the Detroit Lions, 9-24. This Lions defense started it off for Monday night before you seen the dynamic Seattle Seahawks, which to me, I don't know the ranking right now, but to me, that Seattle's defense is better than Detroit Lions. They're more harassing. They're more intimidating. Maybe it was just the Houston Texans offense. I don't know. But let's talk about these Buccaneers, because everybody's high on these Buccaneers. I'm not really high on the Buccaneers. I always talk about Baker Mayfield. You know, he's having that out-of-body experience and all that other good stuff. Look, he's having a hell of a season. All right? Even, went to last season. This whole football team, they've been playing well. Well, very well. But can you trust them? Because they basically gave you a little taste and dose to what you're going to see in the playoffs when the Buccaneers go to the postseason. You can actually see this happening to this team, exactly what happened on Monday night. When they play somebody with some skin in the game, that's how this team is going to look. Get prepared. They can do all this regular season stuff they want. But when they go into the playoffs, you're going to see Baker Mayfield getting flustered, scrambling out of pocket, trying to make these hero plays, but he's not converting them. It's going to happen. You can see it. You just got a little dose of it on Monday night. It's going to be the same way in the playoffs. I will count on that. Baker Mayfield was 28 for 50. To me, when you're Baker Mayfield and you have more attempts than Jared Goff, when Jared Goff is pretty much a known slinger, he can go out there slinging with the best of them. But that's when coaching comes in for the Detroit Lions. They want to give him a balance. And oh boy, we're going to talk about that balance. But yeah, Jared Goff, he can sling it with the best of them. You would think a quarterback of his build will have, those 50 attempts, but you don't really want Baker Mayfield having 50 attempts. I don't care how heroic he's been so far this season. You got to have a balance with him. He passes that many times and you don't even have a running game, a guy that can get 50 yards rushing. That spells trouble. He was 28 for 50, 228 yards, 4.6 on average on a pass, 1 touchdown and 1 pick. He was sacked 4 times, minus 18 yards, 23.8 on QBR. All right? 66.1 on rating. He got harassed. They kept him on the run. He had to improvise very quickly, and it didn't turn out for him in this game. The running game, well, you got 10 carries for 38 yards from Rachaad White, nothing. Sean Tucker, 1 carry, 4 yards, that's nothing. Another guy, Teddy Bridgewater, 1 carry, -1. Nothing. Their running game was just like the Texans. It was non-existent. Baker Mayfield is not going to win you playoff games slinging it around the football field. He can get away with it in the regular season. With certain teams, he can. Not the Detroit Lions. And he won't do it in the playoffs. All right? Tampa Bay's ceiling right now, if they can win 1 playoff game, that'll be their ceiling. All right? If they win a playoff game, that's the furthest they're going to go, depending on who they play. Not going for, I mean, it looks good, folks, but I hate to tell you right now, Tampa Bay Buccaneers are not going to the Super Bowl. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are not even going to play in a conference championship game. All right? I'm just telling you. You can see it. Jared Goff was 20 for 29, 241 yards, 8.3 on average, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. They got 4 sacks on him as well for a -26, 29.5 on QBR, 91.3 on rating. That 20 for 29 is very nice. Very good low number. That's where you want your quarterback if you can help it, with a nice running game. And oh boy, was it a nice running game. This guy Gibbs, hey man, this boy has world-class speed. Do you hear me? At least it looked like it on that play. World-class speed when a guy has an angle on you and you got your feet moving like they on a unicycle, headed to the end zone when a guy has an angle on you and you still burn past him. 17 carries, 136 yards, 8 yards on a pop, 2 touchdowns. 78 was as long as the play I'm talking about where he went out there like a world-class sprinter. You hear me? Wasn't catching that guy. Amon St. Brown, another guy that is nice, wide receiver. 6 catches, 86 yards. 14 on average, he had 1 touchdown. He had some big plays, some big catches, making up for last week. I believe in the Detroit Lions. I believe they're contenders and not pretenders. The Buccaneers are pretenders. All right? Lions are more contenders. And you're going to see that as the season progresses until you get into the playoffs. Still early on, but when we get there, you will see. Now, I'm not saying Detroit going to win the Super Bowl. I'm saying that. But they're going to get a hell of a lot further than the Buccaneers will. I know that. Of course, health stays up. Got to be with health. And speaking of health, the Bucs are losing their big guy, Mike Evans, who just came back and went right back out with a concussion. And did they say a broken collarbone or something like that? Sad song for him, for Mike Evans. Terrible news. Terrible news. Now, the Bucks do have some wide receivers that can pick up. We already know about Buka. We know about him. And we know about the other guys that can fill in and help. But nobody is going to replace a Mike Evans. And he might be gone pretty much close for the year. He might can come back in the playoffs. There's a possibility, I'm pretty sure. But how much you going to get from him then? His confidence level is not going to be that high. When you're going out there with a collarbone and all this going on, you're going to be second guessing yourself, the contact and all. It's not going to be the same. Not going to be the same. So the Detroit Lions smothered the Buccaneers 24-9 on Monday Night Football. We're going to transition because today it is Terrible Tuesday. NBA is back. NBA is back. Got a double header tonight. It will be broadcast on NBC and streamed on Peacock. The game marks the beginning of the 2025-26 NBA season, with the Thunder receiving their championship rings. Before the game, Kevin Durant will make his debut for the Rockets. Oklahoma City is favored in the matchup. What to expect in this ball game? A lot of intensity. Both teams want to get off on a good foot. KD, back in OKC, want to show he ain't lost a thing. New motivation. Inspired to really go for it this year. And this is one of the teams that's going to be in your way that you're going to have to knock down. NBA champs themselves, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Got to knock them down. You want to talk about a team that's tied on a string? OKC. A team that is rooting for each other, don't care who gets the praise, just want to win the ball game. They're tough out. But the Houston Rockets are well capable of taking them down, not only in this ball game, but throughout the season, and if they match up in a series in the playoffs. With health, we always got to say that, with health, yes, the Houston Rockets are good enough to take down the Oklahoma City Thunder in a 7-game series. After that, you got the Golden State Warriors and the LA Lakers. No LeBron in that game. I know that disappoints a lot of people, not having LBJ in there. But you got Bronny James. Come on, put a smile on your face. At least Bronny will be out there, huh? Y'all like Bronny? Y'all excited about Bronny this season? Huh? That game there, I don't know. It might can go either way, but I would bet on Golden State if I had to. But NBA season opens tonight in two great games. So everybody excited about seeing KD in a Rockets uniform for the first game of the season. Going to see how that's going to work out. So it's time to kick it off. And what better way to do it than these two blockbuster games here on a terrible Tuesday. So we all set up for it. Y'all enjoy yourselves. Goodymo Sports Quick Hits. Take care. Be safe. We out of here. Peace.